Implicit personality theory. Your unique set of beliefs and hypotheses about what people are like provides a way of organizing the vast array of information you have about other people's personalities. In my own words, personality theory is how a person acts towards another person based on the situation or the person's personality. I provided some examples from the movie Forrest Gump, which is Miss Gump would act differently when Forrest would ask questions. She would give him the purest advice. Lieutenant Dan treated Forrest like a little brother. He could talk crap to Forrest, but no one else could, or he would get mad. Jenny treated him differently, not because of his disability, but because he loved her so much. In the videos I provided, the first video is Lieutenant Dan defending Forrest when someone called him stupid. The other example I provided is about a minute and 44 seconds into the video, which he's talking to Jenny's grave, and you can just see and tell in the emotion, you can just feel how much he loved Jenny. Moving on to standpoint theory.
Standpoint theory is yet another framework that seeks to explain how we interpret the behavior of others. The theory is relatively simple. We each see the world differently because we are each viewing it from a different position. Standpoint theory explains why people with different cultural backgrounds have different perceptions of others' behaviors. Ethics are the beliefs, values, and moral principles by which we determine what is right or wrong. Forrest has a high self-esteem, even though he was always bullied and yelled at, especially by Jenny, but always answered back with respect. He was never judgmental, and he treated everyone the same. Through standpoint theory, he shows ethics. The two clips to your right. The first clip is where he attends an all-white college, and the college is accepting the first African American students. The community is against it, but it doesn't matter to Forrest. He even picks up a book that a black student drops on her way into the college. He was the only one that would have done this in front of all the white people against black students attending this college. The second clip, Forrest keeps his promise to Bubba about buying the shrimp boat. And after he does, he even goes back to Bubba's family and gives the money that the shrimp boat profited from. Those are the two clips. A couple of more scenes where he shows ethics is where when Ford was younger and his mom had a big house just for them too, but they always had visitors at home, gave them a place to stay, and fed the people. Another one would be Forrest always showed respect to Lieutenant Dan way after they both left the army. Forrest always replied with the sir and always gave Lieutenant Dan the ranking power as a lieutenant above Forrest. These are some of the scenes where standpoint theory is shown in the movie. On to the next theory, which is narrative paradigm theory.
The narrative paradigm is a theoretical framework that views narrative as the basis of all human communication. In other words, this framework proposes the notion that all aspects of meaningful communication is nothing more than just a storyline or report detailing a description of events, and that all human beings commonly experience and perceive life as though it is a series of ongoing narratives, each with its own plot, characters, and conflicts. Simply put, all forms of human communication can be seen as a story. Following the basis of the narrative paradigm leads us to consider some of the key concepts, such as coherence, narrative rationality, fidelity, and good reasons that are all found at the core of this theoretical framework. As we examine the narrative paradigm further, and use it to analyze the film Forrest Gump, we will see multiple representations of this theory and concepts throughout the film. Human beings are all natural-born storytellers, and in the movie, Forrest Gump does not pass an opportunity to tell a story. In fact, he capitalizes on every opportunity to share a story in each conversation he has. In the opening scene of the film, Forrest is sitting on the bench with a woman sharing a story about his magic shoes. Decisions about a story's worth are based on good reasons. Oftentimes, when we hear a story, we choose to accept the story's worth for what it is or extract what isn't logical. In the film, many of the stories that Forrest told were simply hard to believe, and some of the people he talked to accepted his stories when others rejected it. Rationality is based on people's judgment of a story's consistency and truthfulness. Sometimes people will reject or accept a story based on its consistency or truthfulness. In the movie, one elderly man completely rejects Forrest's story of him being the bubblegum shrimp business owner, while an elderly lady who listened in accepted the story. Coherence is another key concept that can be found in the film. Although Forrest's stories were hard to believe at first, his actions remained consistent with his character, which added coherence to his stories. Fidelity is another key concept that can be found in the film, which measures how credible or reliable Forrest Gump was. Because of Forrest's simplistic nature and his low IQ, some people found it very difficult to believe his stories, so they rejected his credibility. In essence, the narrative paradigm theory basically is an explanation of why we tell the stories that we do and how we come to conclude which of the stories to reject or accept. Click on the video to the left to view how Forrest explains that he is the owner of the bubblegum shrimp business to seniors in the park while using logic of good reasons to assess narrative fidelity. My mama used to say, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. This is a quote extracted from the film Forrest Gump. Forrest's life truly was like a box of chocolates, but his determination and perseverance helped prepare him to overcome the odds stacked against him.